The sad truth about MMORPGs in 2024 is that many of them are ruined by their monetization. Rampant, shameless pay-to-win seems to be everywhere nowadays, especially in the MMOs coming from Asia. Many people play MMOs as an escape from reality. You might be broke as a joke IRL, but in-game you could be a legend, a PvP god, a raider with legendary gear that other people are jealous of. These games have the potential to give people a sense of status that they might otherwise never experience in the real world. I and many others genuinely miss the time where our only concern when a new MMO was announced was how good the game would be, not with how the devs are going to try and weasel their way into our wallets for infinite cash. So in this video we're going to talk about the least pay-to-win MMOs. Bear in mind that pay-to-win is a spectrum. Almost every MMO exists on this spectrum in one way or another, and every single MMO in existence can be pay-to-win if you break the rules and pay someone to play on your account, or you illegally buy gold on third-party websites. But considering that's against the rules and you could get your account banned for doing so, we realistically can't consider that pay-to-win. If we did, there'd literally be no games on this list. The MMOs on this list are either not pay-to-win at all, low on the pay-to-win spectrum, or have their pay-to-win capped to an optional sub fee or battle pass. And just like how pay-to-win games bully your wallet, unwanted subscriptions you signed up for 10 months ago and forgot about will chip away at your bank account just as quickly. But don't worry, I've got a game changer for you. Today's sponsor, Rocket Money. This app is like your personal finance superhero swooping in to save the day. First off, it helps you cancel those sneaky subscriptions you don't even use anymore. Just a couple of taps in the app and bosh, no more wasted money. Next, it tackles those pesky bills. Snap a photo of your bill, hit a few buttons, and Rocket Money will negotiate a lower rate for you. Internet, cable, phone bills, they've got you covered. And finally, Rocket Money helps create a budget that actually works for you. It tracks your spending, sets limits, and even gives you friendly reminders if you're going overboard. Seriously, people are saving up to $740 per year with Rocket Money. They've even cancelled over $500 million in subscriptions. So what are you waiting for? Join the 5 million people who are already taking control over their finances. Go to rocketmoney.com/LazyPeon or click the link in the description to get started for free. So because pay-to-win is quite a subjective topic and everyone seems to have their own definition of what constitutes pay-to-win, I put out a poll for my viewers to vote on whether or not they considered an MMO to be pay-to-win or not. The results were interesting but also not entirely accurate in my opinion. I'll show the results in this video, but do take them with a pinch of salt. If anything, it does a better job of showing community sentiment towards a game more than anything. Oh, and bear in mind that there's also a few super old MMOs that aren't mentioned on this list that probably aren't pay to win, but they're literally dead, in maintenance mode, or not worth mentioning. First up, Final Fantasy XIV. This game was overwhelmingly voted as not pay to win, and I definitely agree with the results on this one. Final Fantasy XIV is a subscription-based MMO where you need to buy the latest expansion. The game also has a cash shop in which you can pay to skip the MSQ, pay to level boost each of the game's classes, as well as buy various cosmetics such as mounts, costumes, furniture, emotes, and dyes. Final Fantasy XIV isn't considered pay to win because there's no way to spend money and get anything that will help you buy endgame gear. Some might consider the skips and boosts to be pay to win, but I personally wouldn't because there's no challenge to the leveling in this game. You're essentially paying to not watch what's essentially just a very long movie, which is perfect for people like me who don't care about the story and just want to get into the endgame content. Guild Wars 2 is another beloved MMORPG that many people don't consider to be pay to win. Guild Wars 2 is one of the few big buy-to-play MMOs with no sub fee. Whilst Guild Wars 2 doesn't have any kind of sub fee, the game does have a cash shop that sells convenience items as well as cosmetics. You're also able to buy in-game gold for real money via crystals. The reason Guild Wars 2 isn't considered pay to win is because you can earn gold in-game normally, then convert that gold to cash shop currency and buy everything on the cash shop without spending anything. There's basically nothing for sale on the shop that a free player couldn't get access to with a bit of grinding. Additionally, Guild Wars 2 doesn't have the typical gear treadmill that other MMOs have. It's a full horizontal progression game, so you can't really win by paying. It also has equalized PvP in Arena and BGs, and the only impact gear has PvP wise is in World vs World. Winning in Guild Wars 2 basically comes down to completionism, collection and fashion, so definitely not a pay to win game. New World is a buy-to-play game with a purely cosmetic cash shop and a battle pass that contains cosmetics, minor crafting materials, a small amount of gold and dyes. New World is definitely not pay to win, and I'd probably consider it to have one of the most fair business models in the MMO genre. The fact that 28% of people I polled voted that it was pay to win made me realise that I should take these poll results with a pinch of salt, as some people just seem to be voting in a way that reflects their positive or negative bias towards a game. World of Warcraft Classic. So there's two different versions of Classic WoW right now. Vanilla WoW, which is 0% pay to win due to it having nothing purchasable on the cash shop. Then you've got Cataclysm Classic, which is definitely higher on the pay to win spectrum due to it having a cash shop where you can buy level 80 boosts, as well as the WoW token which you can buy then sell for as much gold as you want. As much as I hate the WoW token and consider it a form of pay to win, you can still clear all the content in the game and achieve BIS without buying it. So Vanilla WoW, not pay to win. Cataclysm Classic, on the spectrum of pay to win, but not too high up. World of Warcraft Retail. This is the most controversial game on this list with a 50-50 split, and it's a lose-lose for me. I'm gonna get hate comments for including it or not including it, so in the end I asked myself this: is WoW Retail high enough on the pay to win spectrum that I wouldn't play the game? And the answer is no. I play Retail WoW, I enjoy it, I dislike the WoW token, and for a buy to play sub fee MMO I can completely understand why people complain about the monetization in this game. Can you hard pay to win in Retail WoW? Yes, you can buy tons of WoW tokens, then spend the gold on getting boosted through all the content in the game, arena boosts, BIS gear, all of that stuff, but you certainly don't need to do that, and I reckon a tiny percent of the player base actually plays the game that way. Old school RuneScape, very simple business model. You've got free to play worlds which are essentially a free trial, and you've got members worlds which require a subscription. Members can't use their members only items in free to play worlds, which basically means that free to play players have their own meta and best in slot. OSRS doesn't have a cash shop, but you can buy bonds, which is a membership token, then sell it for GP, which you could use to buy some of the best gear in the game. Unlike other MMOs, however, RuneScape locks a lot of its best gear behind quest requirements, skilling requirements, and mini-game boss challenges. Skill massively outplays gear in RuneScape PvP. You also drop all of your gear on death in the wilderness too, so even if you bought expensive gear, you'd still get smashed by someone with worse gear who would then take it off your hands. Even though I don't consider old school RuneScape to be pay to win, it's undeniable that the fact that you can buy gold does take away from the satisfaction you'll receive playing a normal account. Your drops from monster kills feel less impactful because there's a direct money value associated with it. This is why I play an Iron Man account, which is absolutely 0% pay to win, because Iron Men cannot trade with other players or buy bonds. You need to earn everything yourself, which feels extremely rewarding. RuneScape 3 Iron Man mode only. RuneScape 3 is widely considered to be pay to win because you can buy your account to max within a day purely from swiping. Calling RS3 pay to win isn't really a controversial take. However, RuneScape 3 can be played with absolutely zero pay to win via the Iron Man mode. No trading, no cash shop, and earn everything yourself. This is the only way to play RuneScape 3 in my opinion, and probably the only way you can play and have your in-game accomplishments feel meaningful. Elder Scrolls Online is a buy-to-play MMO with an optional sub fee and a cash shop that contains cosmetic and convenience items. Anytime I've ever played ESO, I've never really felt the need to buy anything from the cash shop, but the optional sub fee doesn't really feel optional and more mandatory, considering it gives you tons of DLC content that would otherwise cost you a lot of money to buy individually. I wouldn't consider ESO pay to win though, as the cash shop doesn't sell power or indirect ways to buy power. Star Wars: The Old Republic is an MMO that advertises itself as a free-to-play game, but in reality the free-to-play aspect is basically just a free trial. Tons of content in Star Wars: The Old Republic is locked behind the optional subscription, such as DLC, currency caps, level cap, access to raids and flashpoints. It's basically a sub-fee game with a free trial. SWTOR does have a cash shop, and here you can indirectly buy in-game currency by first buying cartel coins, buying an item off the cash shop, then listing that item for other players to buy with credits. You can earn these cartel coins in-game at a very slow rate, as well as get 600 per month from having an authenticator as well as subscription. Personally, I don't play SWTOR, but after some research it seems about the same level of pay to win as retail WoW. Since you can boost characters, a sub fee is basically required, and you can indirectly convert real money to in-game currency. Lord of the Rings Online, similar to Star Wars The Old Republic, is a free-to-play MMO where the free-to-play is basically a free trial, but to get access to most of the game's content you're going to want to pay the optional sub fee. Like most MMOs, Lord of the Rings Online is on the spectrum of pay to win, as the game sells XP boosts, buffs, and other convenience items that you don't really need, but might save you some time. Project Gorgon is a classic MMO ran on a shoestring budget by a tiny dev team. The game is free to play but offers an optional sub, a purchasable horse, and some cosmetics. Just under 50% of people voted this as pay to win, but I'm going to include it on this list as I disagree with them. Subscribing to this game gives you access to offline leveling and other small convenience, but I don't see how this is so much worse than other MMOs on this list that you basically can't play without a sub. I suppose we all have our own definition of pay to win, but for me the benefits gained from the optional sub maybe puts it on the spectrum of pay to win but very low down. Embers Adrift, another classic MMORPG. The 56% of votes that said this game is pay to win are retarded because it's literally just a buy to play sub fee MMO with no cash shop. Literally 0% pay to win. I was thinking that maybe some people consider sub fee as being pay to win, but that can't be right considering Final Fantasy XIV is one of the most popular in terms of votes. Dislike the game all you want, but Embers Adrift definitely not pay to win. Mortal Online 2, a hardcore sandbox MMO that I covered on this channel earlier this year. This game is 0% pay to win. It's buy to play with a sub fee, you get a free 30 days of sub when you buy the game, and the game literally doesn't have a cash shop. No cash shop, yet over half of the votes say it's pay to win. Not sure if people are just uninformed or hating at this point. Guild Wars 1, definitely not pay to win. You can buy DLC, some character services, various account unlocks and some cosmetics, but that's about it. There's not really a whole lot to spend money on with this game, so if people consider Guild Wars 2 non-pay to win, then Guild Wars 1 is even less so. Palia is a cozy free-to-play life sim MMO and one of the few MMOs on this list that are both fully free-to-play and 0% pay to win. The game does have a cash shop, but the only things available for purchase are cosmetic outfits that have no functional benefits. Granted, these outfits are quite expensive. But that's pretty much it for the MMOs that on the spectrum of pay to win are either very low down or not pay to win at all. Like I said, everyone has their own definition of pay to win, what's acceptable, what's not. For me personally, I can deal with MMOs that are either buy to play or free to play where the pay to win comes from a sub or battle pass, as the amount you can spend to gain an advantage is capped. What I truly hate is games with uncapped pay to win. Games where there's a massive difference between someone who spends $100 or $1,000, but then if someone spends 10k or even 100k, that difference is just as substantial. Diablo Immortal was probably one of the most blatant examples of this, but there's other games like BDO, Lost Ark, Arcade and RuneScape 3 where it's very possible to spend thousands of dollars. Basically, if it's possible or even common to spend thousands of dollars on a certain MMO due to some frustrating progression system, then it's definitely pay to win in my eyes. I want to see more people vote on this pay to win poll, as I still think our sample size is pretty low, so please go to my YouTube community post and vote on the MMOs that you consider pay to win or not. I'll probably follow this video up with a most pay to win MMOs vid, as it could be quite fun to make. If you enjoyed the video, help us out with a like for the algorithm, as well as sub to the channel for more MMO content. Social media on screen, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.